Welcome to the Business Smart Session podcast, brought to you by Pyrus.co. This is your go-to spot for practical tips, expert insights, and smart strategies to grow your business. Whether you're a startup founder, a seasoned entrepreneur, or just business curious, there's something here for you. Let's dive in.
Trying to stay on top of marketing today, it feels like you're in this constant race, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Social media just explodes. SEO rules change.
Exactly. And just creating enough content, it feels like a never-ending list.
It really does.
So if that sounds familiar to you listening, well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
It's something we hear all the time, honestly. The pressure on businesses to just be seen, connect with customers.
Yeah.
It's intense. What worked even a year ago might not cut it now.
And that's really the core of what we're digging into today. We've been looking closely at this whole strategy of outsourcing marketing, social media stuff based on the article we reviewed.
Right.
Our mission really is simple. Help you figure out if bringing in some outside help, some external expertise could actually be a smart move for your business.
Yeah, cut through the noise, see if it makes sense.
We want to look at the real advantages, the things you absolutely need to consider, and just see if outsourcing can, help you hit those marketing goals.
And the article we looked at really does lay out how tough it can be for in-house teams to juggle everything. It suggests outsourcing might offer some, relief and maybe better results.
Definitely. So let's start there. Why is it so hard sometimes to keep all your marketing under one roof? What are those hurdles?
Okay, yeah. The article sets that stage well. Let's dive into those specifics, those internal pressures.
All right, so the first big one that jumps out, it's just the sheer number of different skills you need now. It's not just posting something, is it?
Not at all. You need graphic designers, people who can actually write compelling copy.
SEO specialists, social media gurus who get the platforms, PPC experts for ads.
Exactly. Finding all those people and affording them.
Yeah.
Especially if you're, say, a startup or even mid-sized, it feels almost impossible sometimes.
I call them unicorns, right?
Yeah, something like that. Marketing's just become so specialized, you can't expect one or two people to master everything anymore.
Each area has its own tools, its own best practices. It takes deep knowledge.
And the article hints at this, the cost of hiring full-time experts for each key area. It adds up incredibly fast. It can become unsustainable, particularly for those smaller companies.
And it's not even just having the skills initially. The whole landscape changes so fast.
Oh, constantly.
Think about TikTok popping up or Google tweaking his algorithm again.
Right. And your in-house team, they're already swamped with daily tasks.
Then they're supposed to stay on top of all these changes, learn new stuff, adapt immediately.
It's relentless. It really is. It pulls them away from just getting the core work done. It can be exhausting.
Keeping up requires dedicated time, doesn't it? For research, training, trying new things out.
Absolutely. And when your team is focused on just executing what's already planned, finding that strategic time, it's tough. It really puts you at a disadvantage.
Then there's just the sheer amount of content you need to produce.
The content treadmill.
Blogs, social updates, newsletters. It feels endless. For a small team, just churning that out consistently while keeping it good
Leads to burnout. Or worse, inconsistency. And that inconsistency, like the article mentions, means you miss chances to connect.
Yeah, and those platform algorithms, they favor regular activity, right? Fresh content.
They absolutely do. If you're sporadic, your visibility, your engagement, it can actually drop over time.
Okay, and let's not forget the data side. Marketing now is so data-driven.
Critically important.
You need someone who knows how to track things properly, analyze performance, figure out what it all means, and then actually improve things based on that.
And smaller teams might not have a dedicated analytics person.
Which means you're kind of flying blind, making decisions without knowing what's really working.
Pretty much. You could be wasting time, wasting budget on things that aren't delivering leads or sales. Understand your conversion rate, for instance, is fundamental.
So you add it all up, the cost of hiring this diverse team, training, tools, software, a full in-house department gets really expensive, really fast.
Extremely expensive.
Oh.
And that's exactly where outsourcing starts to look, pretty attractive as an alternative for a lot of businesses.
Right. It presents solutions to these challenges we've just laid out.
And like the article makes clear, it's not this all or nothing deal, is it?
No, definitely not. It's not like, okay, fire the marketing team. Outsourcing comes in lots of flavors.
You could partner with a full agency, or hire a specialist firm for just one thing, or even use freelancers.
The real plus seems to be getting access to way more skills and experience than you could probably afford in-house. The article mentioned Pyrus.co as an example, how they build dedicated teams.
Yeah, with specialists picked just for your needs, it's like instantly getting this bigger expert team.
And it scales, right? You tap into specific skills just when you need them.
Exactly. You avoid paying a full-timer whose specific expertise you might only need, occasionally.
It's super adaptable, too. You don't have to outsource everything. The article really stressed that. Businesses often pick specific functions.
Like content creation, that's a big one.
Yeah, blog posts, ebooks, or social media management, SEO tasks like link building, PPC campaigns, design, video production.
There was a statistic mentioned, too, about how many companies outsource content tasks, like writing and design specifically.
Right, it shows where the pressure points often are for internal teams.
And this lets the internal folks focus on core strategy, oversight, while the specialized tasks get handled efficiently by experts.
But it's not just about offloading tasks, is it? A good partner, the article says, takes time to really get your brand, your customers, your goals.
Absolutely. They should work with you on strategy, make sure everything aligns.
It shouldn't just feel like hiring someone to post stuff. It should feel like they're part of the team thinking strategically.
That alignment is key. They need to be more than just a vendor. They need to be a strategic partner contributing their expertise.
And here's something maybe less obvious. Access to better tools.
Yeah, the tech stack.
Agencies invest in those big, fancy enterprise tools for social media, SEO, automation, analytics. Hootsuite, SEMrush, HubSpot were mentioned.
Tools that might be too expensive or too complex for a smaller business to manage on their own.
So by outsourcing, you kind of get the benefit of those tools and the people who know how to use them without the direct cost or the learning curve.
That's a huge advantage. Better tools, better insights, more efficient campaigns, things you might struggle to do on your own.
Okay, so we've covered the challenges of doing it all yourself and how outsourcing can offer solutions. Let's really dig into the concrete benefits you, the listener, might see if you go this route.
Right. The article lists several compelling ones. Cost effectiveness is usually right near the top.
Yeah, we touched on it. It can often be genuinely cheaper than a full in-house team. You pay for what you need when you need it.
Total flexibility. Need part-time social media help or a full team for a launch. Outsourcing allows that.
And the article did say many businesses find the total cost factoring in salaries, benefits, overhead is lower with outsourcing.
That saving can be huge, especially if you're watching the budget closely.
And actually, that predictable monthly retainer cost, that can make budgeting easier than, say, the sudden costs of hiring someone new in-house.
That's a great point. Plus, think about the efficiency gains. You're not spending your time on recruiting, onboarding, managing a bigger team.
All that admin takes time away from core business stuff.
Definitely. Another big benefit, fresh perspectives, creativity.
Yeah. External folks aren't stuck in the same internal thinking, are they?
Exactly. They've worked with different clients, different industries.
Yeah.
That can spark really innovative ideas for your brand. Ideas you might never have come up with internally.
It's like getting a shot of new energy. Have you seen that happen? Where an agency brought a totally unexpected successful idea.
Oh, sure. I remember this one case, a pretty traditional manufacturing company. They wanted to reach younger people, but their internal team had a very set way of talking.
Okay.
The outsource agency had worked with some trendy direct-to-consumer brands. They suggested doing user-generated content campaigns on a platform the company hadn't really used.
And how did that go?
Huge jump in engagement with that younger demographic. Real brand awareness shift. Something the internal team just hadn't cracked. That cross-industry experience can be invaluable.
That's a great example. Okay, what about speed? Getting things done faster.
Yeah, that's another plus. If you need to launch something quickly, a larger external team can often move faster.
They can have copywriters, designers, ad specialists all working at once, maybe? Whereas an internal team might have to do things one after the other.
Precisely. That faster execution, that can be a real competitive edge today. Being able to scale resources up or down quickly gives you agility.
And consistency,
Yeah.
so important for building a brand. Outsourcing helps maintain that steady drumbeat, right?
Absolutely. Even if your internal team gets pulled into emergencies, the social media posts keep going out, the blog gets updated, community engagement happens.
Because you've got a dedicated external team focused on it. Your marketing doesn't just stop when things get busy internally.
And that consistent presence builds awareness, nurtures leads, strengthens customer relationships. It's always working for you.
Okay, finally, the article really hammered home the focus on results, measurable results, and ROI.
Yes. Professional providers are usually very data-driven. They have to be.
They'll give you regular reports, track the important stuff, website traffic, engagement, leads, conversions.
And, crucially, they adjust strategy based on that data. Constant optimization.
There's often that built-in accountability, too, isn't there? They need to show you they're providing value for your money.
Exactly. That focus on proving ROI ensures your budget is used effectively and you see real, tangible results.
So it sounds pretty good on paper, but like anything, it's not perfect. The article also flags some important things you need to get right for it to actually work well.
Right. It's not just set it and forget it. Success requires collaboration, clear expectations from the start.
You have to treat them like an extension of your team, not just some outside vendor.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that starts with clear guidelines. You need to give them the playbook.
Your brand guidelines, the look, the voice, the values. Sharing past successes, detailed buyer personas, your content preferences.
All crucial. The more context you give up front, the better they can align with your brand and quality standards. It's like giving a designer a detailed brief versus a vague idea.
Makes sense. Invest time up front to save headaches later.
Definitely pays off. And clear approval processes are essential too.
Yeah, you need a workflow. Who reviews what? Who gives the final okay before things go live?
Maybe you start by reviewing everything closely, posts, blogs, designs.
But then as you build trust, you can maybe give them more freedom, more autonomy.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between oversight and empowering their expertise. Trust develops over time.
And consistent feedback, both ways, is key throughout that process, I imagine.
Absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Keeps everyone aligned and working towards the same goals.
Which leads to communication. Regular meetings seem like a must.
Yes. The article suggested weekly check-ins, maybe deeper strategy calls, regular touch points to discuss what's happening, what's coming up, how things are going.
Use them to talk about promotions, review results, brainstorm ideas together.
And using tools like Slack or project management boards helps too, right? Makes them feel integrated.
Fosters that seamless teamwork feel. Okay, one last important point the article made. Keeping control of the core strategy internally.
Ah, yes. The hybrid approach.
You might outsource doing the posting, the writing, running the ads, but many companies keep the big picture strategy, the key messaging, in-house with leadership.
The external partner then operates within that framework, bringing their execution expertise.
It seems like a good way to get the best of both worlds, external skills and resources, but your core vision stays under your control.
It allows you to keep strategic oversight while benefiting from specialized skills and scalability. It's about finding the right balance for your business.
So to make this more concrete, the article shared that example of the mid-sized e-commerce retailer.
Right, the one whose small internal team was just swamped.
Yeah, trying to juggle social media, email ads, everything. They decided to outsource social media management and blog content creation.
And the results they saw were pretty impressive, weren't they?
They really were. A 50% jump in social media engagement pretty quickly, noticeable rise in organic web traffic, more leads coming from the blog content,
That's significant impact.
and crucially, the internal marketing manager. They weren't bogged down in the day-to-day anymore.
Freed up for higher level strategy, coordinating with sales.
Exactly. It really shows how outsourcing can lift that execution burden, letting your internal team focus on more strategic stuff that drives growth.
It's a great illustration of how it can improve marketing outcomes and optimize the internal team's focus. Win-win.
So pulling all this together, it really does seem like strategic outsourcing can be, well, a really powerful way to grow your brand.
Access expert skills, get more resources without totally overwhelming your internal team.
It's about using external expertise smartly to tackle specific challenges and just be more effective overall.
Achieve those business goals more efficiently.
So for you listening, maybe take a moment. Think about those challenges we talked about. Are you hitting skill gaps? Struggling to keep up with trends? Finding it hard to be consistent everywhere?
If any of that rings true.
Then maybe the benefits we discussed, cost savings, fresh ideas, faster execution, consistency that focus on results, maybe outsourcing could be the solution you're looking for.
It takes careful thought, choosing the right partner, good communication. It's a real partnership.
Absolutely. And maybe here's a final thought to chew on. The digital world keeps changing so fast, right?
Relentlessly.
So how might having a flexible external team who are always dealing with the latest trends help you kind of future-proof your marketing, help you stay ahead of the curve, maybe in ways a fixed in-house team might struggle with down the line?
That's a really interesting question to consider. How do you stay agile and prepared for what's next in this landscape? It's definitely something worth exploring for your own business goals.
You've been listening to the Business Smart Session Podcast, proudly sponsored by Pyrus.co. Until next time, stay sharp, stay smart, and keep building something great.